I'm sorry. Dylan Dog, and a certain other comic book adaptation with Michael Cera and an amazing cast we'll talk about later. And of course, you know the relevant anyway. Let's bring him on in. Everybody give the big Huntsville record. Everybody give a big Huntsville welcome to Brandon Routh. First time in Huntsville? It is my first time in Huntsville. I believe it's my first time in Alabama. Or equal things. Some people are going to like twist your arm and make a choice, and some people don't have to. That's almost like being college. So everybody, we were talking about recommendations. If Brandon was going to hit up a local restaurant tonight or tomorrow, what would be your recommendation?
It's where I work.
Like, what are you in for tonight? What are you looking for to choose? Good food. So there is a superhero-themed restaurant called Superheroes. It's a fairly good drive from here. Me and my wife and friends would probably recommend Straight Hill. It's at Campus 805. It's an old school building that they turned into like a couple of different breweries and fun stuff, Axel and stuff like that. I heard about that. Oh, really? It's got a good reputation. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah. Any others, anyone? Komodo Ramen. Really good ramen place. Texas Roadhouse. It's a movie, isn't it? They just remade that. All right, so let's dig into things. So we're going to talk about the big red blue guy here in just a little bit. But there's another adaptation from a comic book that I want to talk about first that I feel is near and dear to a lot of our elder millennial hearts, and that was Scott Pilgrim. So, I think a lot of us didn't realize it at the time, but you were a phenomenal cast. It was like a killer throw. How was that working with all of them?
It was fantastic. What a wonderful experience to be invited by Edgar Wright to participate in this awesome world of Scott Pilgrim. Yeah. Pardon. And I didn't work with everybody on screen necessarily, have dialogue and stuff, but met everybody because we kind of went up and did like a little boot camp because there's a lot of physical activity and everybody has stunts. So for a month of pre-production, we were doing costume fittings and getting to know each other and rehearsals and we had like a workout in the morning we all did together. So that was cool bonding, which is probably why we're all friendly today and why they were able to get us all back for the animated series because everybody really loves the project and the passion that Edgar has, but also Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator of Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Did you get to hang out more with the cast now that they're doing the new animated version? Do you literally phone it in?
I did do a job from my closet during the pandemic. They sent all the necessary technology, and a gentleman who's the voice director was outside the house, listening close by and checking if the lines were good, giving me direction, just like you would in a normal sound booth. So that was an interesting experience. No, it's just a lot of voice stuff. It's just me in the room, and no other actors. So I didn't see anybody else while I was recording my part. But we did do a little premiere in Los Angeles, so I saw Ellen Knives and Mary and Sacha Baba and a couple other people who were there. Yeah.
So you mentioned Edgar Wright earlier. He's one of my favorite writers and directors. And everybody knows that he did that whole Cornetto trilogy with Simon Pegg and all his buddies. How was it working with him? Was it any different than working with other directors?
Oh yeah, definitely. Am I going to sound? I sound very reverby. Is it okay for you guys? Holding the mic too close, too loud?
It's good.
Thank you. Edgar's amazing. He's a genius. He's a cinematic genius. He's film, it shows his love, his passion. It shows up in his work, and he's one of the best. I like to think of directors as captains of the ship. So not everybody takes. Not everybody takes on all that responsibility, and he does, whether he does it or not. He's involved in everything. He shows up to set, ready, excited, jazzed about it, so well planned, everything, and just a joy to it was a joyful experience. Such hard work doing all the stunts and all of the things. You know, it was a very kind of technical shoot in a lot of ways, but it was still a lot of fun because of him, you know, and the cast to put together. So I worked with him on everything.
Does he play a lot of the soundtrack like on set as you guys are doing your scenes? I know some directors do that.
Not in what I heard. I mean, there was a playback for the bass battle, the solo bass, the bass battle with Scott. When we recorded the Clash of Demon Head song, there was playback, so we did playback so the crowd could hear and everybody, and they recorded. It's Bree's voice in the movie, and I think on the soundtrack. It's not my bass playing, but I did learn all of the parts, and I am playing it on stage when we do it. That part, I would have sounded really good. They could have recorded that. The bass battle stuff, like I knew the figures and I worked so hard at it, but it would have sounded kind of not great. Definitely the professional should have had the sound quality of it, but yeah.
Bass is like deceptively hard. Like there's a reason that like only Flea from the Chili Peppers can do stuff like that.
I mean, I definitely did not master the bass. I'm a piano player and a trumpet player. I don't play piano as well as I should for all the lessons I had. But my hand, I have good hands for guitar, I guess, but they're not nimble. So it's hard to do all the small things on the guitar.
So that's what I mean. Like, when did you realize, like, oh, this is kind of like a cult classic? It's like one of those midnight viewing kind of movies.
I guess when we started doing the midnight viewings, Edgar set up at the New Beverly in Los Angeles. We started doing midnight viewings and Q&As after, and kind of keeping the band together, kind of a thing. And I wasn't doing a lot of cons at that time, but the few that I did, people were loving the movie. And it came out on DVD, and then definitely was on streaming, started to pick up on pace. And the video game helped too. People got more, the books got more popular as all these things were happening. So it's more, it's more popular now because of those things, which makes sense. But I think it hadn't quite risen to the consciousness for everybody to see how cool it was when it was put out. It was like a little bit before its time, maybe. I don't know, the way in which, what it was doing. But now everybody's not before it's time for everybody. It's obviously and now other people are coming to it.
I think it strikes hard for a lot of us who are in similar positions, who like feel a little awkward, are geeky and a little punk rocky, and it just spoke very specifically to like our crowd. So it just kind of stuff like whether it be the comic book or your movie or this new cartoon or whatever. It's something that is super important to a lot of us for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Scott Pilgrim is that a wide array of different kinds of people love that movie. More so, it's like more reachable. The audience to more audiences than almost anything. I mean, Superman obviously probably is more, but then you have people who just don't like Superman Returns, so that kind of brings that out. But it's just interesting. I love seeing all the different people who love Scott Pilgrim. It surprises me all the time.
Well, you brought the big red blue gun up, so let's talk about that. I'm sure everybody will have a lot of questions about that, but like mine is, how much of that did you carry with you? Because I've been joking with everybody, it feels like you're almost like playing James Bond or something, like a very iconic role. So like to this day, it's been a minute now. How much of like Kal-El or Clark do you carry with you?
I mean, all of it. To be honest. I mean, there isn't really a difference in my mind in a way. Superman obviously has superpowers and has dialogue written from him. It's much more mature and wise than I am, and enlightened in many ways. But I say they're always kind of with me because they're a driving positive force. The energy and what they represent is embedded within me. I think it always has been, I guess. And I didn't know that that's what it was, but what Superman represents and what Chris specifically, for me, brought out of that character, which I didn't know as a child until much later, was just that hope, you know? And that's my favorite version of Superman. And to me, that's the only version of Superman that is not the only. It is the best, or reaching the best part of Superman, and I think we need to see him being the best he can be, and still being able to deal with hard times, but coming back to the joy, because for me, that's my journey in life. It's like, you know, good and bad exists. It's part of the process. It has to. You can't have one without the other. If you didn't have good or bad, you wouldn't have nothing. So you have to have good and bad, and we have to kind of understand that they're together in a way, and that even though there are bad times, we still can have joy at parties and come to Comic-Cons, even though the world wants to destroy itself. We still have to have that thing, and it comes in many ways throughout the world. Beauty of life, religion, heroes, you know, real life people who are doing amazing things. So, anyway.
Yeah. Woohoo! Thank you, Brad. So, the recent version I don't call it, but I feel like I agree with you, because like Superman in particular should embody what everybody strives to be. There's a reason people joke that he's like the big Boy Scout or whatever. He's supposed to be an emblematic thing that we want to emulate, and not call the recent version out, but they kind of in a different direction. Now, James Gunn is about to redo it again, and I'm curious, the new actor, what advice would you have for him?
First of all, I'm 100% behind James, and I really think I don't know the story, but I do know that I believe he cares about Superman the way, and understands enough about Superman to give us a very nice embodiment of Superman and the energy of Superman. Plus, he's an amazing director. I love all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He creates family. He puts story first and people. And I think that's at the core of any great superhero movie. It's not action. It's part of it. You gotta care about the people. You gotta create relationships and make them real. And he does that in a great way. So, and for David, I think that the biggest thing that I've learned in my journey as Superman is that his greatest power is that of a teacher. And you know, expound upon that, but you know, my belief has been for a long time that this Superman is here to show us, or can be here. In my world, that's what he's doing for helping me do. Is that he's an emblem of what's possible. And though as humans we may not be able to fly and have heat vision and all that stuff, we can aspire and possibly be as gracious and loving and accepting and understanding as he is. So, because if he's here saving us all the time, then we're not saving ourselves. And, you know, we gotta save ourselves. It's not, you know, who else is gonna do it? We have to be better.
Amazing. All right, so we have a hot mic over here. If you guys don't mind, if you got any questions for Brandon. We've got a little over a half hour. Hey, and also Also, when you come up, tell us your name and where you're from.
Tim from Gadsden, Alabama. Nice to meet you, man. I actually saw you back in the only Dragon Con I made it to in 2010.
Okay, sure.
Back when you
We
started.
go with that.
Way back. My question is, first of all, I'd like to say I love your reprisal of the Superman role in Crisis on Infinite Earths on the Arrowverse.
Thank you.
That's what I want to see out of the character. So my question is, there's a rumor that's been going around for a while, which has been, what, 5 years now, I think, since Crisis, something like that, that there was a possibility you could reprise that role once again for like HBO Max or something like that. I didn't know if that was a possibility or...
Everything is a possibility, and that definitely became a stronger possibility with, Crisis. I have personally explored, the concept with some people. Nothing is manifested at this moment, but it's something that I'm interested in for sure. I love this character, and would be grateful for another opportunity to represent him in whatever form that is.
Appreciate that.
And I appreciate your support.
I would love to see it again, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, we'll get to the next one. Let's talk about that just for a split second. When you came back to do those Arrowverse episodes, like, how differently did you approach the character?
Well, he's a slightly different, not slightly different character, but he's in a different place in his life. He's had a lot of trauma, the loss of Lois Lane in this world, and I think Jim, also old Daily Planet people. And as years passed, mature and wiser, and I was much more mature and wiser. And I had been a father for 7 years at that point, I think, and that made a huge difference in how I approach life and how I see the character of Superman again. And so that added a lot more depth and authenticity, I think, that I was able to bring. So I didn't do a lot, except that, or just stay grounded and trust myself more. Because the wisdom that I think I was leveling up in results in more like calm energy. So I think he was more calm and grounded. Same kind of.
Hey, tell us your name and where you're from.
I'm Connor Parker, and I'm originally from here, though I haven't lived here in a while. My question is, have you read Scott Pilgrim books?
I have.
Which of the evil exes would you like to fight personally?
Was it like his brand or out fighting something?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't want to fight anyone. I mean, what kind of fight are you talking about?
Like, just like in the movie, just like...
Oh, the guest characters.
Yeah.
Well, Todd was to fight somebody.
Yeah, Todd.
I mean, Todd versus Lucas Lee would be fun, just because of the Easter eggs and all that stuff. They're both pretty dumb, so but lovable at the same time. So yeah, it'd be fun.
Thank you.
We're going to say Brie Larson. Party foul. It's okay. We're all friends here. I was going to say Brie Larson would have been a tough fight.
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm from Huntsville.
Hi.
My question is about Superman Returns. Of course, Superman Returns is kind of a quasi-sequel to the Richard Donner films, and you were, of course, following in the footsteps of the late Christopher Reeves. Because you had so many people consider Christopher Reeves the definition of the ideal Superman. How did you, I guess, approach that when you had such big shoes to fill, and how did you make that your own?
Well, Chris was and still is my Superman. He was the guiding inspiration for even if the movie wasn't a loose sequel to those movies, I would have had trouble in the newer version that came out, because I don't know that I could have. It would have been hard for me. And so I empathize with Henry also because I imagine he may have had similar feelings. Chris being my Superman and I was important. And this, very, very long story short, Superman in some form was on my radar 5 years before I was actually cast.
Wow.
And so little things kept happening, and I was like, oh, like crumbs on the path. It's like, oh, this is interesting. What is this? I don't know. Just collect them and keep going. And so I was building confidence in the possibility of it as it went along. And I just say, you know, I have, you know, no parents are perfect, but my parents were amazing and supportive, and I love them very much. And a lot of my belief in myself is due to them, and I didn't see pressure of filling Chris's boots, as it were, as like negative. It was like a pot, like it was like I'm getting this is happening. I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. I don't do that with everything in life. A lot of things are like, oh, I can't do it. Like, why did I can't do this? But that was just a stark contrast to feelings of lack that I have, that we all have. So anyway, that helped me, and I didn't see my pressure. I guess I was just ready. I was ready and fully new.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a cool outfit.
Thank you. I'm Sandra. I'm from Huntsville. He took my question for the most part, but I wanted to say you really do embody that hope with Adam and with Superman. And I guess I want to ask, since that already got answered so well, do you have any favorite moments or favorite people that you come out with when you were doing either the Arrowverse or Superman that just you think of fondly?
First it comes to mind is Sam Huntington, who plays Jimmy Olsen. We've become, you know, dear friends over the years, and we've done 2 movies together. Actually, we've done 3 movies together, but the third one, I don't know if it'll ever come out, but it's funny. And we, you know, we are still, you know, get together regularly, so that was awesome. And also, you know, all the Legends cast, fantastic. We became friends. We were there for so long. Nick Zano and I definitely, you know, bonded. That showed and made a positive impact on our characters.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello. My name is Audra. I'm from Huntsville. And the question, I do want to say just real quick, I really liked your interview in Inside of You with my poor as a mom.
Thank you.
And I really liked your cameo in Quantum League this past season. Quantum League?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Other than that, I would say I actually really liked Ray Palmer a lot during Legends of Tomorrow. He was a very endearing character, and I felt like he was a little bit more hopeful and almost humble than this. It's a very similar role to Superman, but because he didn't have the powers, he's like, I'm just trying to do it, guys. And yeah, it was very endearing, and I liked that during the show. I almost wanted to ask, did you prefer fighting with Evo, the 3-story tall stuffed animal, or with Shane Waits on Cisco's Thongs on the plane? In the season finale.
Well, I wasn't in the season finale, sadly. So I guess we go. And that's pretty easy because I don't have to do anything.
I know
Just use in the
that,
background, maybe animate.
I understand you met your wife, Courtney. Was it in Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes. That's Nordar.
Yeah, that's really good. I was just gonna say, throughout the show, the first season or 2 was very serious, but then I think y'all finally accepted the show it was gonna be, which is a little bit more lighthearted, but still with great character and acting. How did it feel going through the show for so many seasons and going through so many random stuff?
It was a great experience. I loved it very much. And I'm so grateful it's given, you know, great entertainment to so many people. Yeah, I'm very happy how the show shifted. I was on there to do comedy, so I kept pushing the envelope as much as possible, and kept going further and further. And the audience was appreciating it, so I'm glad that we listened, and we all made this great show. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Hi, my name is Kelly from Nashville. So you're known more for being a happier, go-lucky characters. How do you flip the switch as an actor? Do you have to take something really horrible like TV? And you shut.
Well, for like Todd Ingram, that's easy. That's fun. That's just like play. Daniel Shaw was, more challenging because I was younger, and I just wanted to be the good guy. And I was like, keep hoping that maybe they'd still write me as the good guy, and then I became the bad guy, and I didn't know, they told me I was going to do this thing. I was like, no, I was going to hate you. But people appreciate it, and you gotta have the big contract. Good, you got that guy, the light is dark. Otherwise, what's the story? So, there's that, and then definitely the most challenging bad guy was the rookie that I played, and that was definitely more challenging because that's a real person, and I had to do some searching and exploring and deeper understanding of myself and people. That's how we get to all these different spaces, is by being curious about ourselves, we get curious about other people, and then we understand our story. We can have an idea about what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes, but to really do that exploration, to take time to think about why would somebody do this wild, crazy, insane thing. There's a story that almost always is a story. There's a path, and so you have to go to that place as an actor. Because if I judge this guy as bad, then I'm going to come off false. So I had to find some reason why he was living in a story that not everyone was equal, and that he didn't accept all walks of life as equal. That just doesn't happen. There's a story behind it. Anyway, so that's what I had to do. And it's hard work. I don't like it very much, but so that's why I prefer the good guys. But it's great for learning. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Hi, I'm Leo. I'm from New Market, Alabama.
You're Leo? Leo.
Yes. First, I just want to say thank you for coming to Huntsville. I mean, I drive to Metropolis to see you all the time. Richard Donner got his vision of Superman 2 released because of work you and Mr. Singer did. And that took 30 plus years to make it happen. What was left on the cutting room floor on Superman Returns? Because I love the movie. The cinematography was great and everything, but it's like, there was more Superman stuff that didn't make it in. Is there more for us?
Well, I believe it's on the one of the DVDs, but there was the whole trip to Krypton that happened, which was going to be at the beginning of the movie. And it's like a 10-minute sequence, I think, of traveling in there and then coming back. So that's not in there.
Also, do you think with the new Superman movie, they'll give you guys another release like you did for...
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the first time I ever thought about it, so we're talking about it here. It's going to be the 20th anniversary of the story.
I know that's...
I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's all. A year and a half or 2 years ago. 20 years. Who knows? That'd be wonderful. But your question was about, the answer?
Just bigger film. Yeah. It's all right, I'll come here too.
I forgot because you asked me the other question. Thank you. Well, oh yeah, I don't think there was anything. Only small things. There might have been some gags when I closed the door of the Daily Planet when I come in. And I think we got that. And I see the cutout of Perry White. That's in there.
Let me ask you
It'd just be little pieces. I don't think there are any big scenes that are, we added actually, I mean, the bank scene is added. We went and shot the bank scene, because they wanted more action, so we did that towards the end of the film.
Let me ask you real quick, do you know if at any point during the script development there was another, actual fist fight or whatever it called for Superman? Because that was the one thing that I heard, that there wasn't a lot of like good fighting,
I don't know of any. I think that's, I think it was, I mean, it was intentional to tell that story that, Superman isn't all about fisticuffs. Like I said, his great superpowers on his, right now, on the surface, it's the band-aid of getting the cat out of the tree, saving the people. But that's just a band-aid. Again, that's why you go back to teachers. Like, how do you teach you how to live? Just all how to be better, be better, live better, be better people.
So you picture him as like more of a diplomat, or that's just like the last resort?
I think that's a good way to say it, for sure. I mean, yes, because if you truly care for all human life, then you have I think you have a better understanding of taking. I've never been in certain situations where I have lofty thinking. It's not always grounded.
Okay, that's why he made some of the doomsday.
But I'm talking about Superman. If he can do, because he has the ability to just like remove a person from a situation, and then have people sit down and have a conversation and say, do you like to drink water? I do. Do you like to drink coffee? I like tea. It's a hot drink. Okay. Do you eat breakfast? I eat breakfast. Do you pee? Yeah. Do you go number 2? I do too. Okay. Do you like toilet? Hey, do you sleep in a bed? Do you like to be comfortable? Okay. We're both human beings. So, okay. All this history, all the stuff. Like, sometimes you gotta make them simple because they get too complicated. We get lost in the complication. Okay, too much of that. I'll go back to, can I answer the question?
Hi, I'm Hannah from Westro.
Hey, nice to see you.
And I just wanted to know kind of what were your favorite similarities and differences between playing a hero like Superman versus the Atom?
So I had to make a distinction between the Atom and Superman, which that was easy. But the distinction between Clark and Ray, I was like, oh wait, uh-oh. Wait, no, they're because I consciously and unconsciously started making Ray more into Clark. Ray is incredibly, like, he's jazzed about helping people and technology and doing other things, and glass half full. Clark is glass half full, but he has a bigger sense of responsibility because he is more at stake in a way because he knows he can give more. So he's a little more grounded, and his quirkiness is sometimes an act, and sometimes it's just real because you get excited, you get too much of it, and then you become clumsy. So he can lose track of that too when he's able to just connect with people and not have to be the savior of the world, which is a lot of responsibility. So, yeah.
Good question.
They're not that different.
All right, guys, we got about 6 minutes. We'll try to get through as many of you as we can.
I'm John from Birmingham.
Huh?
I'm going back in time for your first acting gigs. You did an episode of Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls?
But my question is about your role in One Life to Live.
Yes.
You played a guy named Seth.
Anderson.
About a year
Yes,
now.
that's right.
So coming from the Midwest, like Des Moines or Iowa, what was it like going from there to New York City to film? I worked in General Hospital back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
It was filmed in LA, okay, in the 90s. But going from like a Midwest boy to New York City, we went to LA to film Gilmore Girls, but We Love to Live was filmed in New York. What was it like for you, like you were like 22 or early 20s?
I'll tell you. So, you're correct, you got good facts. The first time when I got into this business, I went to New York for a week with a group of other young people for this, place to meet agents and representatives. So that was wild, because I had never been to New York. It was the biggest thing I've been to, just blew my mind, loved it. It was like, oh, this is amazing. Then I went back to Iowa, finished my freshman year of college, University of Iowa, go Hawkeyes. Congratulations. Then fast forward to, I moved out to Los Angeles, was there for a year or so, and then I moved soap opera to New York. So I've been to New York, living in New York is a lot. It's amazing, but it's intense. So, but I'm so grateful for it because I got to basically pay to stay at a, I didn't have to struggle in New York, so it was amazing. And I learned a lot. Yeah.
Work comes in a hospital, I got to do a lot of actors. I was production office, I wasn't in front of the camera. But the dialogue, you have to remember, the pages and pages of dialogue, you have to memorize as a soap actor. Must have been a good training ground for you to go, I thought, when we got to be in Superman movie or other acting roles, I thought, well, I could do a soap opera and memorize all this dialogue overnight.
A little bit, yes. I mean, it is a skill, and it depends on also what you're saying. It really helps when it's a good story. It's just like hitting codes better. So sometimes that was challenging because you're saying the same thing over and over again. And they're always like, Jess, all the time. And so many names of people watching would know who they were, and I dropped them on because it just made it was like annoying. Nobody calls anybody by the name that often. And but one day I had to do like 60 pages of dialogue. And I made it through, but that show was kind of about quantity, not quality. So that's fine.
You were a love interest for two twin sisters. Jessica and Natalie. Jessica was blonde, and Natalie was a redheaded black girl. Your role was, I'm a big self-fan. What was your hospital? But I grew up watching Day for Lives and Who Not to Live. But your character, just you had that. And the camera's right here, and your makeup is perfect.
Yeah.
And you're just, I'm in awe of, you guys learning about life. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
From way back.
Thank you.
That makes me want to see a fight between Superman and Stefano.
No, Stefano was
All right, we got time for one or two more.
I know that.
Hey, I'm Kevin from Blanche, Tennessee.
Awesome.
Give me history with Superman and Arrowverse shows. Do you have any offers, maybe doing a Superman and Lois show upcoming?
I haven't, but I love that they're doing the show, and I'm grateful that they're getting to have some time to close that out. All right, one more.
Russell, Huntsville. One, I just like everything you do because you just come across as so human and so engageable. To that end, what art inspires you? Music, visual, anything else? Because I mean, I go to see things because that person's in it. I'm probably going to like this because I like what they do. What is it that you find attracts you like that? Music or visual art or anything?
I mean, definitely music is incredibly powerful. I find that I do a lot of, I don't know if you call it meditation, but it's musical meditation. It allows me, when I'm driving, to think, and my mind is more free. So music is very healing in that way. Also, I get to really listen to lyrics in older music. Because there's a lot of good lessons in there. So I'm kind of, sometimes it's just for fun because the rhythm is great, but sometimes there's important stuff in that. I like to draw. I don't do it that often, but that's a good thing for me. And I love watching movies. I love watching people perform at their best. And I love, nature. Nature is an inspiration, obviously.
Any band or musician in particular?
I love a lot of bands. Originally, probably my first big band I loved was Cake. Still a big Cake fan. Ben Folds, Foo Fighters. Presidents of the United States of America. You know, I don't listen to as much popular music these days, but I like a lot of stuff I listened to in high school and college. But I appreciate the music.
Thanks for the question. Hey, that makes me curious. I got a couple of friends and family here that go to the Bonnaroo Festival in Tennessee every year with me. What were some of the last concerts that you saw live?
I don't get to a lot of concerts. Last concert actually might have been Smashing Pumpkins, just up in Canada.
Here in town.
Yeah, that was years ago. My friend Sam Huntington was shooting Being Human, and somebody had tickets, and I was up there with him when we saw it. It was pretty fun, actually. I've been to a lot of concerts. I've been to several Cake concerts. Ben Folds. I still have been to Foo Fighters show, which is wild. And Metallica was my first concert because my college roommates. So I was in university. My roommates. Roommate was a big Metallica fan, and I only knew Harry Sandman. And coming from the background I did, I was like, "Oh, Metallica's bad for you." Anyway, so I didn't go see it at all. But then you've got to listen to stuff to know how you feel sometimes. So anyway, I grew an appreciation for it, and we had an awesome time, go and see that show, way up in the, nosebleed section. And I also saw a WCW show, match with them, which was fun.
We've got a great venue in town now, the Orion Theater. So if you're ever back, come see a show over there. They have great sound, great atmosphere there.
Right on.
So Brandon, we talked at the beginning of this, and we talked off and on during our talk about how Christopher Reeve and you played this very idealistic, charismatic, a little old-fashioned in a great way version of that character. And given everything that you said today, I can't think of anybody better to have filled that role for your movie. So thank you so much for hanging with us today and coming to see us here in Huntsville and Rocket City. We appreciate you. Everybody give Brandon one more round. Thank you.
Complete nerve authority.